DESIblitz.com.
Hi, I'm Imran Ghafoor, the strength conditioning instructor at Ringside Gym, and you're watching me on DESIblitz.com.
Hi, I'm Talib Hussain, one of the head coaches at Ringside Gym, and you're watching me on DESIblitz.com.
Hi, I'm John Costello, professional boxing coach, and you're watching me on DESIblitz.com.
Hi, I'm Ben Edwards, and I'm a professional boxer in the featherweight division, and you're watching me on DESIblitz.com.
Hi, I'm Troy Jones, boxer for Ringside Boxing Gym, and you're watching me on DESIblitz.com.
Hello, I'm boxer Assam Mahmood, and you're watching me on DESIblitz.com.
There is restrictions. The capacity of the gym itself, 40 to 50 people, but I've cut it down to 15 or 20 people per class, and that is down to the restrictions of how many people were allowed in here.
There's more classes because of the numbers we have, so we're putting more hours in the gym. So to be honest with you, I think the lads are benefiting from that rather than not benefiting from it, because they're getting more one-on-one time with Talab and obviously with myself. The classes are smaller, so they're getting the attention they are getting. You know, if Imran's doing a strength and conditioning class now and he's got 4 or 5 lads spread out, it's not 15 lads he's got to keep his eye on, it's 4 or 5. So it actually benefits them, but then we'll have to do that class another 2 times that day.
COVID-19 has affected me and others, but I still come to the gym and train. I hope the virus goes away quickly.
I have my times where it affects me mentally, but the training it's been my remedy, to be honest. It's took my mind off of what's been going on in the outside world.
It was hard at first because I was a week out of my pro debut, but I've looked at the positives and I've just used the time to train harder, and everything happens for a reason. I seem to be good at motivating myself anyway, and I've got a tattoo on my arm that says, if you train hard, winning is easy, and if you train easy, winning is hard. And any time I feel like I don't want to train, I look at it and it makes me want to train and win.
The thing that motivates myself is the fact that I know that other people aren't training through it. I'll come back late to the boxing world. I'll come back to boxing when I was 19, so I've had some catching up to do. So I'm using the time to be at the Ringside Gym constantly to catch up where the others aren't. And the fact that some people aren't staying ready, I am staying ready. And when the time comes to when I can be fighting again, I'll be ready.
I motivate myself during COVID-19 by reaching my goal to be a world champion.
I have devised a program which consists of props, chains, other things tools that they need to utilize in order for them to be physically fit. We have circuits that we've designed here especially for them. So it doesn't necessarily mean that they would be sparring. It could be today they would be coming in and doing a circuit session, for example, that will be consisting of chains, kettlebells and various other equipment that we provide for them in order for them to complete the task.
Well, when we first come back, we couldn't do pads or nothing like that. We couldn't spar for a bit. So it was a bit harder, but it gave us time to work on things. We just spar, but at distance, so we don't actually hit each other. It's like we're shadow boxing, but we do what we'd do if we were fighting, but we don't get close.
When I'm training, I'm not thinking about what's going on, where I can go. So I'm using the time to train at the Ringside Gym and take my mind off of things, to be honest. So it's enhanced my training, if in all honesty, and enabled me to train harder and have more time to focus on my training and my future.
So before they start their sessions, they wash their hands, they sanitise their hands. Before they go on each apparatus, every apparatus is sanitised. Every time somebody leaves that station, it's sanitised again. If they have their own personal boxing gloves, because we're not allowed to give any of our own apparatus or equipment out. So that's all sanitised when they're in here, and then when they leave, it's sanitised again. So basically, it's as safe as possible as we can adhere for them to come in here and use the facility for our safety and for their own safety.
We're just sticking to the guidelines. We're just sticking by everything we've been asked to do. You know, you can see the tape on the floor. We sanitise the equipment before and after use. Gloves, bags, bars, even the ropes in the ring are sanitised before and after use. We're given instruction. We wear facial masks. When I'm in the ring, I wear a face mask. So we're doing everything we can, and obviously we're limited by the numbers we can bring in, because you have to have 2 metres of space all the time.
Before I train, I sanitise my gloves, my skipping rope, the bags. Every time we use the bags, they get sanitised after. If you can see around the gym, you'll see that there's guidelines on the floor that we stick to, the 2 metre rules. When you're doing pad sessions with John, etc., everything gets washed down after. Gloves we keep our distance, masks where appropriate. So yeah, everything we can be doing is being done, sanitisers here and everywhere.
In regards to the 2 metre gaps that we do have, the grids that we've put down and the tapes, that would basically determine the distance that each individual needs to keep within themselves from each other whilst training in the session, in the class.
When we come into the gym, we use the hand sanitizer, and we use it after training too. We keep the social distancing. We've got the boxes to make sure everyone stays in there so we don't get close to each other.
I keep myself and others safe by when I enter the gym, I sanitise my hands and I keep a social distancing with the people training with me and my coach. Before and after I train, I wash my gloves.
When there's people from the same family, from the same bubble, so to speak, and there is a flexibility within that, and they can come and they can train have close quarters if it's sparring or pad work. But if they are not from the same bubble or from the same family, then no, it's not allowed.
It's difficult, but we have been at the end of the day successful in what we're doing in that within each boxer, or be it the amateur or the professional. At the moment, instead of using pads, because we're not allowed to use pads, I use another method. Sparring is out at the moment, then we're not allowed to spar, apart from if the professionals who are competing. We tend to make sure that if they are sparring, they've had a test, so we know automatically before we go down, at the end of the day, when they come here, they've been tested, so everyone's fine. It's common sense really. At the end of the day, if they feel unwell, they don't come to the gym. They have a 2-week layoff and they have a test. Once the test is positive, they come in, and we adhere to that. Again, on the bags, it's restricted, so though we've only got 4 bags in here, they're spaced out fairly well. Everything's sanitised, every station sanitised, all equipment that we use here sanitised before everybody uses it, and each class, if it's the children's class at the end of the day, like again, they're all in one bubble. At the beginning of the pandemic, Ben Edwards was fighting for his debut fight. We were just 7 days away, and unfortunately the COVID situation got a lot worse, so the venues and everything was shut down. So he had a hard preparation for nearly a year's training really. He never missed any time. Another young fighter, Troy, preparing himself to turn professional very soon.
Troy is just leaving, he's moving on to the next phase of his career, and there's no rush. So the pandemic at the minute, we've made the most of that time, so it gives us a chance to work with Troy for that next phase. Ben's turned professional, so in all truth, it is holding Ben back a little bit, because there's no small hall shows for him to box on. Arenas now, they can't sell tickets. And if they can't sell tickets, they can't find the money to put the shows on. So it makes it very, very difficult for these lads to get the pro careers off and going. But I'm very excited about Ben. He's a very, very talented kid, and I'm very excited about Troy as well. I think people are going to get, they'll have a nice surprise in 12 to 18 months' time. These lads will come on leaps and bounds.
Using FaceTime, Facebook, Zoom, okay, and all different types of FaceTime apps that we can use, can train families and do one-to-ones, and it's fun, it keeps them fit, and it's safe.
Ringside itself is a physical gym, so we have members coming in at the moment, and luckily at the end of the day, even with all the COVID regulations, I mean, people are coming in because they want to use the gym. Mentally, physically, it's helping them. But at this present time, I am collaborating with another club, which will be announced soon enough at the end of the day for on digital platforms, and that is practically boxing training at the end of the day online. So Ringside will be involved in that.
They're at home, they can use under my guidance, when they do have the resistant bands, kettlebells, chains, and various other props that we do use, and they will be guided by myself, so that will help them, enable them to do to have a good session, enjoy themselves, and be safe, and in a safe environment.